for writing has been planted. Hi, everybody. Oh, I think it just went live. Sorry. That okay. So we're talking about writing your book without writing, and we're gonna have a really exciting conversation today. So wherever you're tuning in from, thank you for being here. Thank you for being a vibrational match to this amazing information. So we were just saying that sometimes we think that we choose life, but actually, life chooses us. If we
Goodness.
surrender to the flow and if we allow for ourselves to trust the wisdom within, the God within, that inner voice, that
Mm,
the one consciousness that we're all connected to, then it's like a seed that comes from our heart. And if we surrender to it, then our gifts come through it. Surrender to it, our gifts come through it.
I love it. I love it. I love it. So beautiful, beautiful. So surrendering, right? Surrendering is about letting go, right?
Mm,
And shedding the things that don't hold weight, and holding on to the things that are most important. So, because sometimes we're not surrendering, we're holding ourselves back. So I love
mhm,
that. So, firstly, perhaps we need to surrender. Wow,
mhm.
wow, thank you. That is absolutely amazing. And I'm really interested, Dasha. You know, how do you use that very book for for business when you're done with it, right? It's one thing to have the book, right? But how do you use that as the vehicle to propel, your business?
So I know what some of you are thinking, like, how did she even like get into this channeling maybe in the first place? Maybe backtrack a little bit of how I got into it so you could see that like, wow, like this is real. So the reason why I now teach on how to write books without writing is because there was a transformational experience in my life in 2014 when
Hmm.
my mom was diagnosed with cancer and she passed away. So she was
Hmm.
49, 50 when she left.
My
And there's a
condolences. I'm
story.
sorry to
Thank
hear
you,
that.
thank you, thank you. There's a story she shared with me before she passed that has changed my life.
Hmm.
So I couldn't believe myself when I said it, and I'm sitting next to her helpless body, and I say, "Mom, you ruined my life."
Goodness.
And I was like, "Oh my God, did I really just say that?" My mom is fighting stage 4B cervical cancer. But it's like when you have those thoughts that are like spinning and you just can't stop it. I know you have those thoughts, and like sometimes you just act and it's like you don't even understand why you do something and you're like, oh my God, did I really just do that? But you can't stop yourself sometimes, right? So then what came next I never expected. And what came next actually changed my whole life because it changed the story. So my mom shared her story. She said, my brothers abused me when I was little. I was looking for love at the bottom of the bottle my whole life, in sex, in drugs, in
Yeah.
alcohol, because I wanted to find love. And I
Hmm.
wanted the one person to love me, who was my mother, who couldn't find a way to love me because she was holding on to her own things, so she did her best.
Wow.
And
Wow.
that's when I
Wow.
began to realize, like, I gotta forgive.
Hmm. Hmm.
My mom is just a little kid that couldn't find a way to heal herself, so she was projected onto me. And what did I do? Take it personally because I didn't know any better.
Sure. Sure.
Right, because
Wow.
we all take things personally, especially when we want to be loved and cared and hugged by our
Hmm.
creator, our parents. See, and then I started to transform so fast, and people were like on social media, they were like, "You are really the person you say you are. What you're posting, you really walk the talk.
Look at that. Look at
Like,
that.
write a book. You should write a book." And I was like, English is my third language. I failed my English classes, like for real, legit. Like, how many of you can resonate? Like somebody tells you something and you're like I didn't take journalism. Like I'd never been a writer before. Like it was so
Hmm.
far outside of my like even thinking. And then like
Goodness.
over 30 people told me I should write a book. It was like the universe was banging on my head. It was like,
Wow.
hello? Hello? Anybody listening?
My goodness. Now, Nasha, I have to just put just acknowledge. your level of vulnerability. So just thank you for just being so transparent and so all open with us, right? Because it's important to know the person behind the system, you know. But when I'm hearing from you, I sense that in writing a book, it offers an opportunity for healing, right?
Yes.
So it helps your business, but it ultimately helps us as well, right? So writing a book is not just to generate income, but it's to help with transformation, right? That's inside of all of us. Wow, that's powerful. Thank you so much for that. Thank you.
So as I'm gonna address this, by the way, you see if you can take us live on one of your platforms because I'm not seeing it.
Mm,
You got to add it somewhere at the bottom, I believe, like where the three dots are, I believe.
all right, all right. Let's take a look.
Oh, good. So I was on a live the other day and I realized that there are three reasons to why people write books. Maybe
Yeah.
there's more, but I came up with three. And
Wow.
one is exactly what you just mentioned, Jesse. Like,
Yeah.
it's to heal. It's to have all of life's events suddenly make sense because the dots connect. And
Wow.
remember how we are our own healers. Like, one person can say, like, go out, live your purpose, like go unconditionally love yourself, go realize that there's a God inside of you, like follow the path, trust your intuition. People can say that, but until you understand how to walk the path for yourself from inside yourself and feel that
Sure.
love, you are not changed.
Goodness.
So a book
Goodness.
is a path, through the writing process is a path of healing, because what
Mm,
happens is you are writing the same story over and over and over and over again. And the
mhm.
coolest thing is that the drive to write helps you understand your purpose because you don't want another person to live in the dark like your old self. Like,
Wow.
how many people here watching right now, like, maybe use drugs, alcohol, all kinds of, substances, addictions that did not serve, just to escape, just to change state.
My goodness. Wow.
And
Wow.
like, I don't even recognize myself because I used to be the angriest person I've ever met in my life. Anger ran so deep that when I would disagree with somebody I loved, I would see red and hear a buzzing sound that I didn't even know what I was doing.
So I'm hearing not just transformation, right? But we we become a different person from the time we begin writing the book to the time that we have finished writing the book. So much so that other people recognize the new us, right? Oh my gosh, that is absolutely amazing. I'm quite taken back right now. I just because I'm taking this all in, and what I'm hearing is oftentimes we think we're writing the book, but sometimes in the process we're actually rewriting our
The,
story.
the book writes us.
My goodness. Wow. You got to say
Like,
that again, Doctor. You got to say
like,
that again for the people, right?
we
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 don't,
think we,
it
we think
feels,
I'll repeat it. We think we're writing the book for the people, and that's what helps us understand purpose. But
sure.
really, the book writes us.
My goodness. My goodness. That is
Because the,
absolutely
the,
amazing.
the, the secret is, once you write that you do something or you are that kind of person in the book talks back to you. It's your
Mm,
best accountability buddy because right in front of the world, you just confessed that you are patient and you count to 10.
wow.
So the
Wow.
next time you get angry, the book is like, hello, Dash, what's up? You, you know,
I love it, man. I just thank you for really having us change our perspective in terms of writing a book, right? This is a vehicle, right? This is an opportunity for transformation, right? To look different from the time in which we began writing the book. And I love the phrase that you use, like we don't write the book. Initially, we think we do, but the book actually writes us.
Yes.
My gosh. Okay, now. This is
Whenever,
amazing, Dasha.
when- whenever people come to me and they're like, "Hey, I'm pissed off at my guy for doing this," or "How can I change my circumstances?" or "How can I change my life?" I'm always like, write it down.
Yes.
Write for freedom, write for
Mhm.
love, write for joy, write for peace, write for compassion, write for release.
Oh my gosh. And as I like to say, write as if your life depended on it, because it does. Right? We can't keep.
Like drop it like it's hot.
Come on now, from one author to another, right? We have to get those
Jesse,
words
Jesse,
out.
Jesse gave me a book. And guess what? I realized that actually what you just said is
Yeah.
that writing can save your life.
It has preserved my life, and it's obviously it's preserved your life and allowed you to flourish. A book is part of our living legacy that we live to others, and that kind of spills over into my next question, Dasha, because it's amazing that you found out this process for yourself. But I'm very curious to know, you know, why is it so important for you to bring this process to the world, to other people, to help others in terms of sharing their story? Because you could have kept it all to yourself, right?
I
This is so precious and amazing, right? And that has
yeah.
value. But for you to say, with writing without writing, this has to get out to the masses. I have to share this with other people. I mean, tell us more.
So the reason why I surrendered to this being one of the purposes that I bring to the world, because we all are multifaceted, we're multi-purposeful. We just got to do one thing at a time. That's the whole thing. We lead one thing to a destination that makes us feel fulfilled, and then we do the next, and then we do the next. That's how we, that's how we feel fulfillment.
Come
Um,
on.
and the reason why it's books right now is because I had a lady come to me about a year and a half ago who was like, "Can you help me write a book?" And I was like, And then my intuition was like, "It took you 7 years, 15-hour days. You thought you were gonna kill yourself. It was like a mission suicide. You want to go on another mission suicide with somebody else?"
Mm,
And my higher self was like, "Hold on a minute. Like, why do you think your past is gonna dictate your present? Just surrender, surrender." So two
come on.
voices, right? And then it's like, okay, surrender. Okay, Dasha, surrender. Like this was a path for you for healing. There must be something there because somebody's coming to you with that request. Okay, I surrendered. I show up to the Zoom. I hit record. I close my eyes. I start asking her question. I start asking her question. She
Yeah.
closes her eyes. She starts channeling answers. It's just coming out of her. And I keep going with
Mm,
questions and deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper. And I'm sitting there on the chair. I'm shivering and I'm crying. And I'm like, what is happening here?
mm, mm.
I felt like I was in an ocean, like connected, like there was no time, there was no space, there was
Oh,
just being. And I was so tuned into her story, and I was in the story with her and what was coming through me. I don't even know where these questions came from. And when we were done, she was like, "Oh, I think it's done." I look up and it was like 40 minutes, and I'm like, "We just got a quarter of your book done."
my goodness. Wow. Wow. So Dasha, I'm hearing, because we talked about initially surrendering. Another S word that's coming to mind is suspending limiting beliefs, right? Because it sounds like when you were first approached, those mental monsters, as I like to say, like to creep in and say, "No, you can't do that. It's too hard. You can't share that with someone else." But you suspended your belief, right?
Yeah,
And you allowed yourself to think of your higher self, right? And you chose to not focus on the past, right? But more so look towards the not just your present, but most importantly, your future self. Amazing.
Mm,
Absolutely
yes.
amazing.
And
Wow.
it's like that moment like that you it's like you got like two minds or two wolves inside of you, as I like to call it. And it's like, which one are you gonna feed? Are
Come
you
on
gonna
now.
the one that's like scared because it was so hard for you, or are
Sure.
you going to be the one that's like, I don't know what's going to happen, but there's a reason why it's coming up, and there's a reason why there's a path there, unknown path. And yeah, though it may seem dark at the moment, but
Mm,
you don't know if it's really dark unless you step in there, unless you take that step to the left.
talk about it. Talk about it, Doctor. You talking that talk now. That's what I'm talking about, Doctor. Woo! Yo,
And then
this
people started coming and coming and coming, and I realized, you know what, like, I got something here, or something got me, and it's so much bigger than me. And it's
come
a
on.
story, and our stories connect us, our stories unite us, our stories free us, our stories show somebody else that there is another way.
Look at that. Look
Somebody
at
say, there's another way.
there is another way indeed. And it starts by writing your book. Wow.
Mhm.
Wow. I you know, I'm really shivering, right? Because I'm excited to hear this, right? Because this means of transformation is at our fingertips. But it's important to definitely have the right coach, right? And we'll probably dig into that a little bit. But you know what's been really hot, Dasha, is technology, right? And there's so many ways to use technology. And we know that the hot technology right now is AI, right? Um, I am curious, right? How do we use, can we even use AI in this process of writing a book without writing?
Amazing question. First of all, like, and it's funny because the haters are right away like, oh, it's because it's AI. Like, without even asking, like, is it? What is it? Like the haters, you
Yes.
know, people who are hating, and they see something and they right away make a conclusion. Oh, there, that's not special. I can just go and chat GPT myself and do it.
Mm.
Like,
That sounds like hater talk right there for sure.
it's like you can't win them all, so stop trying, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So ChatGPT is awesome. Like, it's
Sure.
incredible. But what's more awesome is to understand your own story first and the message that you're meant to bring here.
Okay.
And that's what I love, to ask the right questions and get in the right headspace to be able to pull the stories out of the individual that I'm talking to and I'm helping to with the story, so
Mm.
it comes out of them. Because oftentimes, if we're not asked the right questions, we
Sure.
don't go down deeper to the root cause of why life is the way it is, why we keep attracting relationships, why we have money beliefs, why we have the certain amount in bank account, like why do we have this body image, why do we have like this place we live in. Like, we don't understand all the stories that we keep telling ourselves, right? Because we think it's somehow outside of ourselves.
Of
But
course.
when you go deep, right? When you go deep and you have somebody ask you the right questions that maybe nobody ever asked you. Like, they don't ask you at school and tell you, hey, you're limitless. So how are you going to live your limitless life?
My gosh. My gosh. So asking the right question.
Questions is what helps pull the story out. And then if the individual wants to keep rewriting it for the process of healing, that's
Sure.
for them, because they understand how powerful it is. But if they want to end it right there and make it pretty, then we
Mhm.
can plug it into the AI and beautify it. So it's really up to the person's individual motive. Like, what do they want to do with the book? If do they want to heal with it? Do they
Mhm.
want to, after they've channeled it, to shorten it, the nice and sweet, with a few steps toward their business or investment, or using it as a business card, because it is the best business card there is. So it
Wow.
really just depends on your motivation. And individuals sometimes don't have a motivation or don't know until I ask them these questions too in our first session. It's like, hey, how fast does the book want to write itself? Their higher self knows.
Mm. Wow.
The
So
feeling
we already
comes.
have the answers. So we already have the answers, right? And I guess you being that coach, you help to pull those answers outside of us in terms of writing the book.
Yes.
Amazing. Amazing.
Because
Now,
the book, the story, it can turn into a live story video. It can turn into a Netflix series. It can turn into a movie. Like there's a limitless potential to what you can do with your story once it's been written.
goodness. But the thing is, we have to first write the story, right?
Yes.
It has to first be written. And I know for some who might just be recently just joining us, just to to put it out there, we are with Dasha Love, right? She has an amazing system all about how to write your book without writing. And if you've ever tried to write a book, goodness, it's not easy, right? I'm one. Dasha's holding up my
Hey,
book, Receiving
look
Love
at
is an
that.
Inside Job. I'm almost embarrassed for how long it took me to write the book, but I got it done. And
How
I
long
can,
did it take you?
yes, oof. I'm so embarrassed to say. It took longer than what it need to. But that's why I'm so interested in your system, Dasha, right? Because your system seems to collapse time frames, right? And
Yes.
that's what's so important because we think we have forever when we don't, right? So if we can leverage our time, any successful business out there, guys, Lyft, Uber, right? Uber Eats, they're all about getting you what you want faster. And it's clear, Dasha, with your system, it helps us to get what we want faster and get our message out to the world faster. I absolutely love it. Um, and I want to dig a little deeper in terms of your why. Like,
Mm.
why you care so much about your this system and your message and just getting it out to people. Just spill the beans. We need to know why.
I want to just mention that there are steps in the system, right? Like the channeling comes first, like you get your chapters done in the first session, and then you
Nice.
have like an outline, like now you've got an outline to work with, and then
Sure.
it's like, okay, now we're channeling with the chapter names, and book done. Like it happens so fast when you know what you're doing.
Yes, ma'am.
The reason why it's important for me is because I can't tell you how many books have changed my life.
Yeah.
Not only did writing a book change my life, and I truly believe with all of my heart that it saved my life.
Wow.
Because before this, and how many of you can resonate? You attract abusive relationships or relationships that don't serve, and you get angry and you have fights. I had that. Drinking every night. I had a high rise apartment in San Francisco overlooking the bay and the water, high tech
Mhm.
job, but I was so unfulfilled. Right. So the book saved my life because it gave me meaning, it gave
Yes.
me purpose, it gave
Yes.
me fulfillment, and it gave me strength to change.
Wow. Wow.
And everybody who's read it so far has been like, whoa, because it helped me become authentic and totally unfiltered and unapologetic about the journey that I took to become the person that I am.
Goodness. Wow. Dasha, right? I'm gleaming so many gems from here and I'm able to pull so many things. Like initially we spoke about, just the importance of like suspending your belief, right?
Mm,
That is so very important. But now when I'm hearing about significance, right?
mm,
Now, so in writing our book, again, it kind of provides that living legacy. It gives us significance that we're meant to take up space, right? What we have to say
yeah.
matters to the world, that we can move the masses, right? So, and this is the thing, everyone, for us to not write our book, we're actually doing a disservice to ourselves and to the world. So
Mm.
you have a responsibility to write that book. So I hope you're taking notes because I'm taking copious notes here. So
My
that just
God.
brings into my next
But,
question,
but can
Dasha.
I get it first? Like, drop it like it's hot wherever you're watching from. Because Jesse just said incredible wisdom. He said, you got responsibility to share your
Come on,
transformational
come
story.
on now.
Once you discover the gems that transformed you, they can be beneficial for
Yes,
someone else just like you.
Come on now. Let's bring fire into this chat, guys. Come on, let's light it
Woo!
up. You know, heart emojis, comments, share because it's on fire right about now because you
Yes.
can waste your time watching TV or Netflix and chill, or you can hang out with us and learn something that can very much so change your life and the life of other people. I absolutely love it, Dasha. Keep bringing it. Keep bringing it. We are all ears.
So the other thing about the book that it not only helps you, like I read books that have helped me to such a degree. Like before I gave birth, I read a book with women who had the power to do natural birth.
Come
And
on.
guess what? They gave me the strength and power to go all natural the whole way because I realized that if they could do it, so can I.
Absolutely.
So can you too.
Absolutely.
And without
Woo!
without those words, without the wisdom,
Sure.
all I'm listening is the outside people. Everybody's telling me, "Oh my God, you crazy? You're not going to the hospital? Or what if this happened? Or what if this happened?" Like every single person has a lot of fear inside of them until you read a book and see the strength that people have, that women have, that men have, how they overcome the most challenging, the most crazy moments that we don't even know because if you've never had a child before, if you've never done something before, it's so scary.
Mm,
But if you read a story about somebody who did it and how they overcame the fear, or maybe how maybe they had complications and how they trusted in the moment, like I had some complication but I trusted and I was like, oh, I know, you guys just need to go in there and just move his shoulders, and I'm in this process and I read a book,
mm.
and
Come
instead
on.
of freaking out, like, and I knew that he wasn't going to breathe at first, that they need to bang him around because I read in the books that this is what happens. But to the outside world, if you don't read a story, your view of your reality is like narrow based on your past experience.
Come on. Come on. And, Dasha, I love what you're saying, right? Because this is so important for all of our book writers and aspiring book writers is understanding the difference between simply telling our story and having a message that we can bring to the world, right? Because there's it's a distinction to understand, right? Because our
Mhm.
story might be great to us, but if we
Mm,
want a book that actually sells, what
mm,
is the message? What is the message that we're actually bringing to the world? Because I know there's some people on the line right now who are listening to this. They wrote a book, but it wasn't so much a message. It was more or less their story, right?
mm,
So, how do we make sure we do it the right way, where it's not just our story, but it's a message for the world to receive?
my God, Jesse, dropping it like it's hot. I love that. I love that. Well, sometimes we think if you build it, they come. But let's face it,
Yeah,
most often than not, you got to take the next step after you've built it because you think that this is hard,
sure.
but you gotta learn how to sell it. You gotta learn that sales is healing, that sales is service, that sales is actually
Mm,
love.
come on now. Come
So
on.
once it's done, it's like you're in an elevator and you think you this is floor like say 5, right? Let's say this is floor 5. There is floor 6, there is floor 7, there's 8, 9, 10, but you can't see these floors until you cross this one.
Wow, wow, wow. So Dasha, we're going with this. We're using a lot of words that start with the letter S. We talked about significance, right? And now another word I'm hearing is being able to see, right?
See,
When we write that book, we're able to see clearly, right?
yeah.
We're able to see our past and put it in its proper perspective. We're able to see where we are presently, right? And we're able to see, and it takes the blinders off of our future. I love it.
Mhm.
Amazing,
Yes,
amazing.
and then you gotta, sell it. You gotta learn that sales is love. And like I know how many people, okay, how many people here have like sold things they didn't like selling before? And so
Oh,
it like ingrains, come on, right? Like it ingrains in our head that sales is dirty, sales is pushy, sales is giving people things they don't need. So we like walk around with this deep sense of, and I did this for the longest time, thinking, oh, I don't want to sell it, like,
sure.
uh build it and they should come. Isn't that what's supposed to happen?
Come on, authors. Y'all know how many of us got a book. We built it, but they
But then
ain't
like,
coming, right?
yeah, once you understand that, like, if you don't reach them, they never change. If you don't reach them, they stay the same. If you
Mm,
don't reach them, you don't open their heart.
goodness, goodness.
Boom.
Woo! Dasha, Dasha. So I'm hearing another S word, service, right? So when we write a book, we are actually in service, right? And
Yeah.
sales is service. And Dasha, those words you spoke, it just created a vision in my brain that literally, guys, we have to imagine that there's somebody on the other side who is desperate, who is stuck, who may be unloved, who may be hitting that brick wall and trying to get to that next level. And they just need your book. If they can possibly get that book that's in your heart into their hands and they can read that book, they will finally have that peace that they need to get to that next level in their life. But they can't get there unless you write your book. Oh my gosh, amazing.
Yes.
Mm-mm-mm.
Yes, Jesse. It's like
Woo!
we're pieces of a puzzle.
Yes, ma'am.
And
Absolutely. I'm telling
like
you.
sharing your story is a piece of somebody else's freedom, a piece of somebody else's liberation from limitation.
Woo! Yep. You got me fired, Dasha. Like, because one of my favorite words, if not perhaps the all-time favorite word, is liberation.
Liberation.
Because I don't care who you are, what color you are, where you're from, where your geographic location, um, your gender. We all want liberation,
Liberation.
right? There's a book that has a quote. The Bible speaks about when you know the truth shall make you free, and we need freedom now more than ever. So I love it. So with a book, it provides freedom, freedom
Mm,
for us, and freedom for our fellow men and women, right? So
yes.
I do have to ask, because I was embarrassed to share how long it took me to write my book, but I'm going to put it out there.
So
As and it's my baby, right? Y'all guys know when you write a book, it becomes your baby. And I think because of that, it took me, want to take a guess, Dasha, how long it took for me to write my book? Take a guess. You're not going to get it, but try.
5 years.
Whoa, it took me 4 years. You're
Ah,
close. I think you did that better than anyone, but I think that speaks to your level of intuition and your ability to connect.
mm,
So that's amazing. And I'll be honest with you guys. I don't know if it should have took that long. I don't think it should have took that long. So when I'm hearing from you, Dasha, in this process, you're telling us that it doesn't have to take that long. That it can actually be written in a weekend.
yeah.
Like, so you could have saved me 3 and almost 4 years,
Just
and I
imagine
could have
like
done this in a
like
weekend.
like every year, and like let's say like how many hours you think like
How many hours? Listen, I will wake up sometimes 4 o'clock in the morning and write this book until 6 o'clock.
so that's like 12 hour days, right? Like 4 years. I mean, that's a lot of hours.
Yeah.
And like what could you have been doing instead if it would have already been done?
Whew. I can only imagine.
I don't
Get
know,
more
have fun
sleep,
with your family.
more fun with my family, can work out more, right? Ah, that hurt. That hurt, but it helped, right? Because what you have to offer, Dasha, this service, this how to write a book without writing, will save you not just time, it will save you time with your loved ones. It will allow you to get more sleep, right? So this is a game changing system that you're offering to us, Dasha. Oh man, this is
I
amazing.
love that you call it system.
Yes, indeed,
And
definitely.
the cool thing is, like, I love before we start the book to create a clear vision for
Sure.
what this book is gonna do in our lives.
Okay.
So I love, like, this is why I'm so big into manifestation. Like, I'm just like, okay, so you're gonna do the book, but why? Like, do you want to use it for personal healing?
Yes.
Or do you want to use it for your business to generate leads? Because it's like dating. A book is a first, second date. But for a
Mm,
person to transform, how many dates they need to go on?
goodness gracious.
10, 12, 16. For each person, it's different. But ultimately, everybody is seeking transformation. And when you have a story, you can reach their heart. And then where's the invitation for the
Mm,
transformation that
mm.
people ultimately need?
Wow. So Dasha, I'm hearing the importance of writing the book in the right way.
Yes.
Right? And you saying it starts with our why.
Yes.
I love this phrase, guys, and I try to live by it, and I try to impart it onto others. If you know your why, you will figure out your how. Right?
Mm,
I think oftentimes many of us we're struggling in life because we haven't figured out our why, right? And our who we are is reflected in our book. So if you do not have the why in your book, if the your why is not clear in terms of writing your book, it's going to be that much difficult for your book to be a success and get into people's hands who most need them. So know your why.
mhm.
Absolutely. Wow.
Yeah, because when you know your why and it drives you, like a father that has to feed his children is gonna find a way to do it because
Mm.
he has a why.
What? Come,
You know your why. Like, I didn't want another person to live in the dark.
come
My
on.
why was my old self.
Mm.
It drove me to keep transforming because of the why.
Yes, ma'am. Wow. So we
Right?
have
So
to know our why.
what's your why? Like, when you have a why, you will figure out the how and you will figure out the what.
Mm, mm, mm. So there you go. There you go. You just dropping some fire right here, Dasha. It's like boom, 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 boom. I love it. So Dasha, we might be making it harder than what it really needs to be because as aspiring authors, we oftentimes think we have to figure it all out, right? But maybe it's just first by starting off with figuring out our why, who we are, our why, right? And then figuring out the why behind our book. Because
Mm,
once we
yes,
have the why behind our book, then we can get on this process that you speak of in terms of
yes,
writing the book without actually writing, right?
yes.
Because it's now more from the heart and not so much from the head.
Good.
We get jammed up because we're so busy up here, but we
Yep.
figure out right here. Wow, amazing.
Woo. Hot,
So
hot, hot, hot. Dropping it like it's hot,
yes,
Jesse.
indeed. So Dasha,
So a little nugget I wanted to plug in there, if I
please.
may, that I wish I would have had the right help when I was writing, because
Yeah.
there's like there's literally like 20 books inside of this one book. And your first book doesn't have to be your only book.
Hmm.
Your first book gets you on a trajectory of sharing. It could be a little tiny 10 pager. Like, it could be the first step toward freedom, but it doesn't have to be all the steps. And
Come
if
on.
tomorrow you transform more, you'll have another book in you. Because who you are today is a salvation, is a liberation for those people that are two, three steps behind you. But that's
What?
not who you're going to be tomorrow. Because tomorrow you have more realizations you didn't have today. So then tomorrow you write another book. It's a new day.
Mm, come on now.
Woo!
Come on now. So Dasha, I love this, right? And you're just just dropping so much wisdom, and it's just hopefully our hearts and our heads are on fire as mine, right? Because when I'm hearing with the process of writing a book, we don't have to have it all figured out. And there's a phrase, guys. How do you move a mountain? I mean, Jesus has told us that we can move mountains, right? But how do you move a mountain? You move a mountain by removing one stone at a time.
Right.
And
Mm.
writing our book, we don't have to have it all figured out. It
Mhm.
can be one page at a time, one paragraph at a time, one sentence at a time. So we just got to get started. The mountain will be built, right? But we have to start writing. We have to start listening to our heart. We have to just start.
Yes.
Amazing.
And,
Amazing.
and how I like a quote from Alex Hermosi is that people entitle their success to the last brick they lay down when building a bridge. But
Mm.
the reality is, every single stepping stones make the bridge a bridge,
Come
not just the
on
last
now.
stone.
Come on now.
And then Aileen Wilder says, procrastination is the assassination of your destination.
Come on. Say that again, Dasha. Say it again.
Procrastination is the assassination of your destination. And I like to say, let's do it now. Let's do
Let's
it now. Let's
come
do it.
on
Do it. Do it
now.
now. Let's do it now. Let's do it now. Let's do it. Do it. Do it
Dasha,
now.
I love the energy, guys. I love the energy, and I said it, Dasha, when I first met you. I said to myself, if I had a portion of Dasha's energy, I would be a millionaire. I love the energy. Oh my gosh.
And the thing is, you can't get it wrong. Like people
Sure.
are like, oh, why aren't you like? So in my mind, like I was like, oh, if I'm gonna help people with books and their business, like, wait, what am I supposed to do? Like these other things? Like, is this gonna be at the expense of me doing these other things? No, it's not, because we have all the time in the world to do all the things we want to do. We just gotta go deep,
Mm.
complete. Like you gotta go help 40 people do this, then move on to the next thing if you feel like it. But by the time you're done with these 40, the universe, God, would have led you already, because you're in service, into
Mm.
even more beautiful trajectory than you can see right now. Because remember the elevator? Because you'll be at the next level of
Yes.
service,
Yes.
serving the masses, serving people outside yourself, helping them overcome.
Dasha,
Like,
amazing, amazing. I love that. So when you begin to write the book, you begin to to get direction, right?
mm,
It may not be clear initially, but that manuscript, that scribble scrabble you write on that notepad, right? It starts to take shape, and then you start to move in a particular direction, right? But you just have to start. You just have to start. And I love the analogy you used. It's not about the last brick. Every step, every brick is important. One sentence. You
you gotta remember it. Like you gotta remember that, like, it's not this aha moment. All the moments before this moment has led you to this aha moment.
goodness,
Like
goodness.
you wouldn't be able to write unless you went to kindergarten, unless you went to first grade, unless you had all these things that have happened to you, been bullied. Like you wouldn't be who you are, and you wouldn't have such a deep story to share unless all these things happened to you.
Talk
And
about
I
it,
like to
Doc.
say, you are given this life because you are strong enough to live it. That's my tattoo in the back. Sorry about the baby, guys. Sorry about the baby.
Oh my gosh, there is nothing wasted, y'all. Everything we've been through has merit and is of importance, right? And how do we express that is by writing the book, right? Because even when we pass on, our book is going to be our testimony. It's going to be that legacy for
Yeah.
for, for others to share and learn of. Our children, our grandchildren, right? Fight as a kid. We are not going to live forever, but
Yes.
thankfully, our books that we write, most certainly can
Yeah.
indeed live
And
forever.
the thing is, like Tony Robbins talks about, Cookie, just 15 more minutes. Um, sorry guys, I have a baby, if you don't newborn. Tony Robbins likes to say that we have 6 human needs, right?
Mm,
And they are what? Stability, certainty, variety, uncertainty, because we don't variety,
sure.
significance, love and connection, growth, and contribution.
Mm.
And guess how many of these 6 human needs you satisfy when you are writing a book?
How about it, guys? What do you think? How many
What
of
do you
those
think?
needs?
How many of the needs do you satisfy when you're writing a book? 6 human needs.
Put it in the chat, guys. Put it in the chat. Put the number, guys. What do you think? What do you think? I have a
Guess
guess.
what? You satisfy all the human needs when you're writing a book.
My goodness. My goodness. Wow.
All
So,
of the human needs are fulfilled. You satisfy them all as a result of writing your book.
yes, yes. Wow. So this is absolutely amazing. So leverage, right? Because we're here and there and doing this with such and such and doing this and we're eating that and we're all trying to fulfill all those needs when we can provide some leverage by writing a book.
Yes. And,
Amazing.
and, and what you said, the legacy, like, knock on wood, God says our time here is finite. We got a ticking clock, and we don't know how long we got. We all want a long life, but we just don't know. So every day is a gift, and the only thing we can leave behind is a story.
Wow. So you just gave me an image, Dasha, right? Because if God blesses us, right, we each will live a long, full life. But when those last days are closing closer, right, and we are on our deathbed, right, we do not want to have the regret of that book that's in our heart to not been have able to put it out on paper and share it to the world, right? So we have to get that book out, guys. It's not even optional, you
And
know?
it's like the elevators, like people think that the book is something that you leave when you are what you do when you're old, when you have
Mhm.
enough money, when
Sure.
you're done working, when you have already have all the wisdom you think of the world. No, if you are somehow feeling unfulfilled in one or multiple areas of your life,
Yeah.
this is the step toward fulfillment and peace and
Oh,
liberation. Can
goodness.
I get an amen?
Woo! Come on now. Come on. Amen to that. Amen to that. This is a step to peace. This is a step to fulfillment. This is a step to liberation.
Liberation.
I love it, Dasha. I love it. Guys. Oh my gosh.
I'm on fire too. I'm just like, whoa, like what's
You are
happening?
indeed on fire, Dasha, and you are bringing the fire, and we appreciate you. We appreciate the energy. Now, Dasha, right? We got to get more into your system,
Mhm.
right? Because there's a phrase that people oftentimes do not work, but systems do, right? So it's important to have the right system to writing a book, right?
Yes.
Because there's one thing going on YouTube, right? Um, yeah, but when we actually have a proven system, a proven repeatable system, right? That's going to cut the learning curve and ensure our success so much faster. Yeah, so tell us more about your system.
So, system, by the way, stands for save yourself time and money.
Whoa, wait a minute. You can't, that's not, you can't, we don't want that to go over anybody's head, right? I love the acronym. So please say that again for the congregation. Please say that again for the congregation.
System, the word system stands for save yourself time and money.
on, y'all. Come on.
You,
I've never
you
heard
want
that.
to
That's
save
amazing.
yourself time and money, but the funny thing is, oh, I heard that. That's a really cool thing. I heard people spend more of that which they value less. So if you
Okay.
find yourself working towards something yourself
Sure.
and you're spending all the time, that means you value your time less
Mm,
than something else like money.
mm.
Think about it, because you spend more of it, so you value it less.
Whoa.
People spend more of the thing they value less. But let me ask you, what's more important, time or money?
How about it, y'all?
What's more finite, time or money? And what's more infinite, time or money?
Mm,
Can
mm.
you create more money? Can you create more time?
Absolutely
Now,
not.
if you can't create more time, isn't it more valuable than money? Isn't
Good.
it more important to use a system from somebody who's done it to shortcut so you can have more time?
Yes, yes. Woo! So we get to save time. We get
Time.
to bend time. It's like our own little time machine, right?
Yes, yes,
So
yes.
having a book and having a coach to provide the right system, it's literally a time machine.
Routine.
So wow. So this system right here, this sounds amazing and it sounds invaluable, right? So my gosh, wow, I'm excited, Dasha.
I'm
Amazing.
I'm really excited because it's like once I discovered this, or once it discovered me, because it came through and I had
Sure.
to write it down. Like I told you as a story, like I didn't come up with this.
Mhm.
I just surrendered and I allowed for it to happen, and it happened, and then I was like, what just
Sure.
happened? So
Wow.
the
Wow.
vision, like my vision was that I wanted to make an impact. I wanted to make a change.
Hmm.
So I had to let go of what Dasha thinks and what she needs to do to help make change, and
Mm.
allow for the seed inside the heart to sprout out. Vision, impact, contribution. And as a result, all the other human needs got fulfilled.
Goodness.
I grew. I realized love and connection, because love and connection with yourself, higher self, God comes first before any
Yeah.
connection with anything else. I realized significance. I had a variety of experiences, because when you're writing a book and connecting the dots, oh, you never know what you're going to feel in the next 5 minutes.
Absolutely. Come on now.
I had stability because I realized who I am, and no one can take that away from me.
Come on now. Nobody can take your book away from you. It is yours. Oh
So
my God.
vision, you gotta have the vision, right?
Yeah.
And then a step-by-step process to follow. And I have my whole step-by-step process also recorded, because I've done it with so many people. It's a whole manifestation process. So people
Goodness.
have had crazy results that are beyond the book, that are beyond my imagination, because I just allowed for the creation.
Wow. So we literally have to visualize the book before it's actually created. So
Yes.
our book is actually in the spiritual, right? Our book
Yes.
is actually in our heart, right? We just have to bring it forth into the material realm, right?
Yes.
So y'all guys, real quick, I'm loving this system, right? So imagine your book in your hand, right? Imagine with the help of Dasha, how to write your book without writing. Imagine,
Thank you.
imagine the book. See that book. Fill the book. Fill the pages. Right. That book. It's in your heart. But with a system like what Dasha is offering, you can bring that book into the material realm. You can bring that book in front of the eyes and into the hands of the people who most need it. But you
Yeah.
got to get started, like Dasha said. I'm loving the system, right? So vision, we got to visualize it, right? And
And I
then we
have I
got
have people like
to,
to
yes,
make a vision clear. It's like I have people design a cover, and then I tell them to stand with a book in their hand. And then I'm like, I'm gonna put that cover on that book so you can feel it, smell it, touch it, own it, because you
Mm.
gotta be there. You gotta, it's gotta be
Come on
so
now. Come
real
on.
before it's actualized that you are like, ain't
Woo!
nobody taking away from me the fact that I'm a published author before you've even written a
Got
page.
it. Got it. I love that, Dasha. And you just gave a little game-changing nugget. Hopefully we didn't miss that, guys. That's a practical thing that we can do. We can literally, make it ourselves, go on Canva or hire someone to actually create the cover for us in advance, right? So then you have some level of accountability, right? And put that cover, right next to your computer, right? Put that cover right next to your nightstand, right? So,
And then some people take it a step further. I'm like, what are you doing? Are you on a stage right now in front of how many people holding your book up? Like, and they're like, oh, 100 people, 1,000 people. I'm like, yes, let's get a picture of that. What's happening next? Because it's like, if you can really see how much is going to happen as a result of that, it makes you more prone to doing it.
oh my gosh, come on, Dasha. You're giving us the game right now. You are putting us on game. I'm loving this, Dasha. And hopefully, guys, we're giving Dasha the love that she deserves by lighting up that chat, whether it be heart emojis, likes, share this video, share this message, share what Dasha has to offer because this is some game-changing stuff. I love it. I love it. Now, Dasha,
Sorry about the baby. We have like 4 more minutes. 4 more minutes, sorry.
but Dasha, it sounds like your baby is an aspiring author themselves. So speak away, baby, speak away. We love it. We love it. Yes. So let me ask you. You wear many hats, right?
Oh,
You're not.
let me hold it. No, okay, we're almost done. We're almost done.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, what
You,
last question? Let's do this.
of
Last
course,
question
of
and we're
course.
done.
Yeah, not just the mother, not just the author, but I hear you do a number of things as hello, beautiful baby. Hello. Look
What
at
was the
that.
last question? Let's do this.
Indeed. You do other things. I'm hearing manifestation, right? You are multifaceted, multi-talented, tantra, and human design. Like, tell us more about all the other things you do.
Yes. So I honestly believe that the first step before we do all of these things is the story. Because that was for me the very first understanding, realization, and that's what started opening everything up. Like transformation through touch, human design, everything came as a result, the manifestation as a result of sharing the story. So I truly believe that if you want to open up to a brand new life, brand new possibility, brand new reality, the first step is the story.
Woo! Now, guys, let's give a hand for Dasha Love. Come on, y'all. Let's give her a hand. I love this. Dasha, you are amazing. Your beautiful baby is just the cherry on top, the punctuation mark to an amazing interview. I mean, Dasha, so please, what will be the next step for someone who wants to learn more, not just about your book, but want to work with you? How can they get in
I love
contact with
it.
you, please?
Thank you, Jesse. First of all, I love you. Everybody give him a hand. Yeah, round of applause. Woo! Now this
Thank
is
you.
gonna live in the ethers and transform lives beyond our wildest imaginations. So thank you. If
Absolutely.
you are all lit up about this, I'm actually changing the date to next week. But I am gonna share in a class on how to write your book in a weekend, in one weekend. So if you
Come
go to
on.
thebookweekend.com, and I highly recommend joining the VIP on that next page, join us and see how really to do this step by step.
Love it. Love it. So, Dasha, again, thank you so much. Baby, thank you so much. Guys, check out Dasha on our social media handles. She's all over. We
Yeah.
appreciate you, Dasha. This is Jesse, author Receiving Love as an Inside Job, signing off. And we will see you on social media, and Dasha will see you in her challenge in the very near future. Next week, by the way.
Yeah,
Thank you,
next week.
Dasha.
And if
We
you all
appreciate
have
it.
any questions, reach out to us. How they can reach out to you, Jesse? Did they resonate with you?
Yes, most certainly. You can catch me on the platforms, Facebook, as well as Instagram, and definitely on YouTube. And I'm following Dasha's lead. Soon, very soon, there will be my own master going online. I keep that guys posted.
I love
Dasha,
you. I love you.
you're
Thank you.
amazing.
Thank you. Thank you.
Appreciate you. Thank you for your time. Thank you.
I appreciate you. Bye.
Bye bye.